Hello students, welcome back. Today we are here to study another chapter, which is diversity and discrimination. Okay, so to begin with, we have the very first point as diversity and prejudice. We need to understand the word prejudice. Okay, the word prejudice means unfair and partial opinion formed in the mind beforehand. Someone thinks or someone already has an opinion beforehand in their mind. Okay, it's called prejudice. In the previous chapter we have read about diversity and we have seen like how India has unity in diversity. In this chapter we will read about diversity that exists in various fields of our life and in the country. We can boast of diversity in a country, yet this diversity is not always celebrated. There are times when we do not welcome strange and unfamiliar things or attitudes of people around us. We also tend to form opinion about others who are not like us. These opinions may at times be negative. Such negative or biased opinions becomes prejudice. Prejudice may be defined as a bias or an opinion formed in the mind beforehand or unreasonable prepossessions. It is unfair and partial. A famous psychologist, H.G. Allport, defines prejudice as an antipathy or a negative feeling based on familiar and inflexible generalization. It may be felt or expressed. It may be directly towards a group or an individual of that group. Prejudices are formed when we think that only one particular way is the best and right way to do things. We can be prejudiced about many things. For example, religious beliefs, color of the skin, language, caste, race, region, etc. Prejudice also creates stereotypes. By stereotype, we mean a fixed image about people. For example, we fit all boys and all girls into certain image. When we say that boys are naughty and rowdy, or girls are all well-behaved, soft-spoken and gentle. The truth is that the boys and girls, all the girls, are not such as labeled. Okay. Now coming to the next point, discrimination. So what is discrimination? Discrimination is the act of making differences and unfair treatment. Okay. It is an unfavorable action, behavior, outcome or treatment. Discrimination happens when people act on their prejudice or stereotype. There are various forms or expressions of discriminations. Example, to put other people down, to stop them participating in certain activities and taking up jobs, to stop them from living in certain neighborhoods, not allowing people to take water from the same well, or not allowing certain people to enter temple, etc. So discrimination is something that it's an unfair method of treating certain people. Okay. Causes of prejudice and discrimination. Prejudice and discrimination are not universal or something that humans have inherited or are born with. They are the result of social bias. Factors responsible for such bias are enumerated as under. So there are many reasons so why these things happen. The biased thinking that women are biologically and physically weak and therefore are incapable of performing duties like men causes discrimination against women. Right? Many people say that women are weak, they are not strong enough, they will not be able to do any hard work. But then, yes, we are in a country where we have seen great athletes like P.T. Usha, who won great medals and great honor for India. in the area of sports. Even parents discriminate between a girl and a boy child. They prefer to have male children because of the age-old social customs and evils like dowry. The erroneous notion of superiority of race has been a major cause of prejudice and discrimination. The policy of apartheid or social discrimination as adopted by the whites, British rulers against the black natives of South Africa is a glaring example. The extermination of the Jews by the Nazi Party of Germany during the Second World War was also based on the Germans' false feeling of the racist superiority. The age-old system of division of society based on the Varnas, which led to the caste system in Indian society, has caused discrimination against the so-called lower castes in India. Religion has also played a leading role in the creation of prejudice and discrimination among various communities. Not only religion, but differences of sects have also created rift among the same religious communities. We often hear conflict between Protestants and Catholics, between the Shias and the Sunnis, between the Digambars and the Shwetambars, etc. Practices like slavery, different immigration laws, temple entry, social exclusion from schools, disenfranchisement, etc. also cause discrimination among the people in various countries and societies. So there are various reasons which causes prejudice and discrimination among people. Harmful effects of prejudice and discrimination. Now we have seen the causes of these things. Now when these evil things takes place in the society, what are the harmful effects that can be seen? Okay, so the harmful effects are as follows. First, prejudice and discrimination lead to ethnic hostilities which constitute a major danger to peace both within and among nations. Prejudice and discrimination lead to disunity which results in disorganization of the society and even disturbs the collective life of humanity. This also leads to racial arrogance and creates a gap between different nations. The policy of apartheid or racial segregation created bitterness between the whites and the blacks in South Africa. Prejudice and discrimination create strained relation between the dominant and the subjected groups and retards the progress of both the groups. Discrimination in particular affects the healthy development and growth of people in society. So the harmful effects are the one who discriminates and the one who is getting discriminates, both their development is hampered. Now what are the steps? Now let's look at the steps of curbing. Curbing means controlling prejudice and discrimination. It is true that prejudice and discrimination cannot be completely wiped out from the society, but they can surely be curbed and controlled. This may be achieved through appropriate measures. As mentioned, follows. First, education has a great role in teaching man how to appreciate various cultures. It develops broad-mindedness among people who can curb prejudice and discrimination. Legislation has already contributed a lot in reducing prejudice and discrimination from society. According to some scholars, interracial, interreligion, interregional and intercaste marriages encourage the curbing of prejudice and discrimination. The Bahaiya approach is appreciable in curbing prejudice and discrimination. According to Abdul Baha, humanity is one kind, one race and progeny, and there is no racial distinction and separation in the creative plan of God. Separation is not natural and original, and prejudice and discrimination are not part of the natural order. Members of the unequal group should strive towards unity. Mistrust, false sense of superiority, and discord should not mark their relationship. Setting up councils and centers which promote friendship, distribution of literature, specially designed to dispel prejudice, organizing events and setting up institutions that promote harmony among the people should be encouraged. The United Nations is already actively fostering the feeling of love and international brotherhood among the nations of the world. Such efforts should be appreciated and followed. Moving ahead, we need to understand inequality and discrimination. So the word inequality is the opposite of the word equality, which is the backbone of our democracy. It should be made clear that inequality and diversity are not the same. While diversity is a natural phenomenon, inequality is man-made. See, we need to understand, when we say that we are living in a diverse country, we have people from different backgrounds who follow different religion, have different ways of dressing up, different ways of eating food, and different ways of celebrating, right? This is diversity. Now, this is something, a natural phenomena. This is a natural phenomena. But inequality is something that is made by man. Inequality means discriminatory treatment. Inequality is observed in various spheres including natural, civil, social, political and economic. Let us examine such inequalities in detail. So, we'll try and figure out how inequality is made by man. It is said that all men are born equal, but the fact is otherwise. They differ in appearance, color and strength. It is said that everyone should have equal rights. There should not be discriminated with regards to civil rights and fundamental rights. Law should not make any discrimination on the basis of birth, wealth, sex, religion or education. Yet there are some laws which give special concession to the weaker section of society and they cannot be challenged on the basis that they are against civil liberty. Social inequality exists in our country for a long time. There is so-called lower caste, earlier called untouchables, now called as Dalits, were considered inferior and discriminated by the upper caste. Such inequality has now been removed by banning untouchability. In some countries, as in England and Switzerland, women did not enjoy the right to vote until the 19th century. There exists economic equality in our country. Wealth is concentrated in a few hands, while a large number of peoples are divided over decent and comfortable life. Equal remuneration for equal work is not adhered to in case of women and labor child. Gender disparity still exists in the society. Women all over the world are discriminated against. In India, infant mortality rate is higher among girls than among boys due to female infanticides. Discrimination against the Dalits, it's just a case study. People earn livelihood from several occupations, example like teaching, carpentry, pottery, weaving, blacksmithing, fishing, farming, etc. Some types of works are considered more valuable than others, while cleaning, picking up garbage, washing, cutting hair, etc. are regarded as less valuable, dirty and impure, and people rendering such jobs are regarded as inferior. This belief has been an important aspect of the Varna or the caste system prevalent in ancient times. Under this system, communities of people were placed in social hierarchy or ladder, the higher caste occupying the uppermost position and the lower caste the bottom position. The upper caste considered themselves as superior while the lower caste were treated as inferior and were called the untouchables. The untouchables did not enjoy the right as the upper caste did. They were not allowed to enter the homes of the upper caste or to take water from the village well or even enter temples. Their children could not sit next to the upper class children in school. So this is how it was, discrimination was there in the early stages. Now we come to the point wherein we all need to strive hard for equality for everyone. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, the renowned leader of Dalits and the father of Indian Constitution, fought for the rights of the Dalit community. Okay, so Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar is also known as the father of Indian Constitution. He wrote the Indian Constitution and he fought for the rights of the Dalit community who were treated very badly. He belonged to the Mahar caste, considered untouchables. He was the first person from his caste who, after completing graduation, went to England to become a lawyer. He encouraged Dalits to go to school and colleges and to take up government jobs. He was instrumental in making the law for banning untouchability. He embraced Buddhism, which treats all members equal. During the struggle for freedom, besides the scheduled caste, there were scheduled tribes, peasants and women who fought against the inequalities. After independence, the government made laws for ensuring equality among all the citizens. Now, we need to respect the diversity, right? We all come from different backgrounds and yet we need to respect everyone. Diversity is natural and universal phenomena which cannot be ignored. Our constitution has also accepted diversity in various forms. There exist many castes, religion, communities and tribes in India having distinctive customs, traditions, culture and habits. But in the eyes of the law, all are equal without any discrimination of color, caste, creed or sex. Thus, unity in diversity has been established. Different minorities have been given right to maintain their distinctive culture, language, customs and tradition. There exists diversity of religion in India. Hinduism is the dominant religion, followed by Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism and Zoroastrianism. All these religions have their own system of belief, modes of worship, systems of thought and organizational structure and scriptures. The Indian Constitution respects all the religions and clearly states that India is a secular state. It means there is no state religion in India and all religions are treated alike. All people have been given the right to freedom of religion and freedom to propagate religion. Though no discrimination is made by the government on the basis of any religion in any matter. There exists diversity in the social field too. There is a long list of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and the other backward castes besides weaker sections of the people. The Constitution states that the states shall promote with special care the educational and the economic interests of these tribes, castes and sections and shall protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. Diversity exists in language and dialects also. The Constitution has recognized 22 regional languages. Each language has a rich literature of its own. Hope you understood this lesson. Thank you.